This video is on perception of threats and modification of threats. So with a perception of a threat, it's where we would see something that we think is a threat. So following on from the limbic system then, we've got the amygdala that's always looking for threats. So it's like the watchman in the watchtower looking for threats. So if we look for, or if we spot something that we see as a threat, we then react to that. So we need to look at what things we consider threatening, or if you're working with young people, what things do they consider a threat. So the first step is to ask them and talk to them about it. You might not want to use the word threat, but you could ask what things make you feel scared, anxious, nervous, and what things make you want to avoid different places. And so as you find out this information, then it gives you a great position to then be able to help, especially when we look at the modification of threats. So some things that I do is, if someone's scared of social situations, I'll work with them on doing social tasks and social activities. And so without knowing that information, I can't help. So it is vital that you get all the different things that they see as threats. So once you've found out what it is, then you can do something about it. So think about, if it was a social situation, what I would do is, and I'd look at the different levels of what they can tolerate with a threat, and then we would focus on doing something towards that to overcome that fear. First of all, we normally would talk about it, and I would explore it with them. And then we would go through and we might watch videos, or we might imagine being in a social situation. And so this will trigger some reaction, which I'll then help them manage the emotions. And so emotion regulation is excellent. I'll have loads of videos on emotion regulation that you can look at. The next one is then, as you start taking them into the social situation, it's helping them manage that and do well in the social situation. And then what you want to do is review with them afterwards. So I would review with them and check, was it as scary as you thought? How long did the anxiety and the fear last? And what was it like when you were in that situation and the anxiety and the fear had dropped? And so as I help them review what they see as a threat, that helps them to change and to modify their beliefs so they can change them into more positive, updated beliefs. Because when it comes to beliefs that we have, we usually develop them in a negative situation, which means we then kind of stick to it because we need to survive. And so if we've learned that social situations are dangerous, we need to keep away from that. And so we then learn to keep away, and every time we do keep away, it just reinforces that, yes, this is dangerous and this is a threat. So when we then find out what their perception of threats are, then help them working on modifying and reviewing their threats, it then puts it into a different context. We then can use the hippocampus as well to help them understand how it was in that current situation with you, and then they have more chance of overcoming it and slowly progressing onto new beliefs with it. So that's modification of threats and perception of threats. So you need to collect all the information about what is a threat, and then do something to help them modify or challenge their beliefs.